Your personal brand stays with you for life. So the problem that personal brand solves is this problem of being constantly hustling and working hard to attract and find new business. Now, a great personal brand solves that problem. Think of it as the difference between the way I used to do things and the way you might be doing things, expending a lot of energy, running around, trying to find butterflies, trying to catch them, and then trying to make sure that they don't escape. The solution, when you build a personal brand that's attractive and compelling, it's like building a butterfly garden. Instead of investing energy running all over the place, you invest that energy into cultivation of this garden, into planting the flowers that you know these butterflies like. With personal branding, first of all, identify what is it that you want, what are you trying to attract, and then from that place, you create a brand and content and materials that are going to attract those people. So there's 5 steps that I've discovered that go into creating a compelling personal brand. The first is what I call the inner work. Most branding companies, most branding consultants start from the outside in. They start from looking at the market opportunities or by doing market research or surveys to identify what the gaps in the market are and what you can do with your brand to fill those gaps. That's really important work. You definitely want to do market research and you definitely want to align your brand with a need in the market. But you don't want to start there with a personal brand. Why? First of all, it's with you for life. So imagine if you put on a brand or you create a brand for yourself that's not really aligned with who you are. If you start from the outside in, you run the risk of creating something that doesn't fit you very well. So your personal brand, you want it to feel great. You want it to be an authentic representation of you in the world. And so that's why we start with the inner work. The inner work is asking questions like, who are you really? What do you really love to do the most? What are you absolutely the best at? What drives you? What excites you? What brings you joy? When we ask these questions first, when we build your brand from the inside out, you build a brand that can stick with you for a long time. And so I learned the hard way. It's taken me years to build this new methodology to create brands that are aligned, that feel good, not just for me, but for my clients. The second part of building a personal brand is to get into the higher work. Now, the higher work is because brands work best when they touch people deeply. When you're coming from a place that is linked to something bigger than you. After you've done the inner work of looking at, well, who am I really? What do I love? Then I love to ask the question, why are you here? If you're going to have a personal brand, why not have it be something that aligns with your greater purpose? So the higher work is to create something that's not only aligned and authentic to you, but also has a bigger mission in the world. The third part of your building your brand framework is the creative work. Now, this is kind of the most fun part, I would say, especially if you're a creative person. This is where we get to ask the questions, what do you do that differentiates you from everyone else? What's unique and special about you? What have you written? What have you created? What have you founded that we can use in service of building your brand? And specifically, one of the easiest ways to do this is to look at what's your intellectual property. If you don't know what your signature system is, or you don't have it mapped out or laid out, that's okay. One simple thing you can do is just call it your method, your unique XYZ method. Can come up, make up a name for it. So in other words, the creative work is where we look at your body of work, we look at your story, we look at your history, and we say, all right, what can we pull out that's unique and special that differentiates you from the rest of the market? Now, the fourth item here is the strategic work. Now, this is where a lot of branding consultants actually like to begin. And so this part is where we like sit down and start whiteboarding and mapping out ideas and brainstorming and start to narrow down and create a strategy. The strategic work is about pivoting. It's about paying attention to results. It's about putting things out there also and reviewing and revising and evolving. And that brings us into the final step, which is really the execution piece, which is designing and deploying things out into the world. It's creating materials, it's building the websites, it's doing all the actual execution work of a brand that gets the brand out into the marketplace. And then you receive the feedback and iterating and changing and evolving, and then sometimes going back and looking at the strategy again. And every once in a while, even maybe coming back to those earlier steps and to say, is this still true? Is this still who I am? Because as we evolve and as we grow and as we deploy, we sometimes become somebody new in the process. And a great personal brand has consistency and it has stability, and it also evolves with as you change, as the market changes, as the world changes. So now I have a free gift for you. This is something that I put together especially for people like you who are thought leaders and wanting to brand and position themselves so that they can have more influence and more impact. Go check out monetizeyourmagicplaybook.com or click the link below to get my free gift, How to Monetize Your Magic.